here, welcome to my craft room. I'm going to be using the Stampin' Up the Herd set. I'm going to use my VersaFine ink to stamp out about 3 different images on post-it paper that I put in the mini Misty. And I'm going to do a lot of fussy cutting, so I'm going to be using this 8.5 by 11 inch post-it note paper. And then I am going to use my Strathmore Bristol tiles, and I got them at Michael's, and they're a vellum. They have a vellum layer on the top. So here I'm going to do quite a bit of fussy cutting because I need to put a lot of balloons on here and a lot of elements. Like I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Crazy Bird set, the gifts and all of the fun elements that are in that set as well. And it's going to be a real fun birthday card. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And look at that little bird. It's so crazy cute. Look at that fussy cutting. Yes, and here's the Strathmore artist tiles I was telling you about here. They're 6 by 6 and it's Bristol, which is very soft, and it has vellum on the top, so it slides really well. And I'm going to use my Zig markers and my Prisma pencils together. I think you're going to love the coloring effect both of these make on top of one another. Oh yes, did I mention that this is going to be a yo-yo spinner card? You're going to love it. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you very slowly how to do a spinner card on any object on your cards. And it's very enjoyable, and it's a fun card as well. So here I stamped out a lot of these balloons and fussy cut them out because I want some to look like they're behind the balloons, and the way to do that is to just place down a piece of post-it, and you can see there that one really didn't stamp well, so I just went over it. I love the way that the pattern Stampin' Up's kit, this balloon has the lines in the balloons. I just love that. As you can see, it's a half-an-hour video. I've got it down to a half an hour, but truly all the elements in it are fun, easy to do, and there's nothing sweeter to have a birthday card with balloons and to add a yo-yo spinner to the little piggy there. The little head is adorable, and I'm going to show you how you can mix up your Zig markers and your Prisma pencils together with the Gamsol. Together they formulate a beautiful texture on the page, and as you can see, I've got that little llama, and then there's the buffalo and the piggy and the little crazy bird down there. And I'm going to use, like I said, some of Tim Holtz elements on the Crazy Bird stamp set to have presents down there and all kinds of fun things on this card. And I love using Bristol paper, like for watercoloring, and also with your Prisma pencils. And the Gamsol together is wonderful. Gives you so much texture. And here I'm putting the piggy on there because I wanted to use this deflated balloon that's in the Tim Holtz set. The pig is sitting on the balloon, and it's all the air has come out of it. I thought that was kind of cute. See, the little pig has a bow tie on, and I'm going to put some glasses on the buffalo. And isn't it cute? And that's why I covered the little nose there. And I fussy cut the little hat from the set as well, from the Crazy Bird set with the accessories. And now I'm putting 2 presents by the Billy Goat. And I want to make it look like the Billy Goat is standing kind of on the gift. You'll see that when we put the grass in. And now for the coloring. I absolutely love using this Bristol paper. It's 6 by 6. My card is actually 9 by 6. The whole card is just about up to 9 inches. It's a large card, but the elements in it are beautiful. And here I'm taking my Prisma pencils, and I want to mix up the colors with the Gamsol. Here you see I have a little sponge. I take one of my paper stumps, and I love these because you can get to the end. It has a file, and you can file it down to a really nice point, and it has all different thicknesses. So I'm adding two different shades of pink and two different shades of orange on this little piggy. I'll take a charcoal gray, a deep charcoal gray, to make little lines so it looks like dirt on the piggy, and you can see that going across, and all the different shades of orange. And I think he comes out real cute sitting on that deflated balloon. And then I took my zig marker and I'm going to go over, yes, the eyes and anything I want to stand out. I added a little bit of element to the tide, little dots. And here I'm adding some dirt with the chocolate brown. Oh yes, you have to remember to put dirt. And this little pig is so cute when you make it into a yo-yo spinner. And I'm at the end of the video, I will do that for you. I'll show you how you do it in slow motion so we can learn that concept together. And look at this gorgeous llama. And I wanted to make his fur look texturized. I'm all about texture, and you can achieve that with gray tones, the purple, the baby blue, and the white Prisma pencils and the Gamsol. So I'm just moving along and adding different colors. And here I do, if you notice when I do grass, I do them in little clumps. I don't do one section at a time. I stand back and I put about 5 different greens because I want to have an illusion of hills. And to achieve that, you just move all over the page. Because if you stay, I find if you stay on one area at one time, you tend to go in a straight line. And if you travel the page when you're doing grass and you leave some of it for later, your eye catches all different things later on while you're coloring. My coloring style seems to be I work in small clumps, small areas on any given object. Here I want the sunlight to be in the middle of this tuft of hair. So I just draw a circle to remind me where I want the sunlight to be, and I add at least 7 different tones right here. Look at all of these shades from purple to gray to brown to red to pink. There's all kinds of colors in here. And I work, that's why I work in small areas. I pick an area and I work on that. And I don't leave it until I feel it has the texture it needs, especially as fur. And it just comes over time and practice. It's by no means perfect, but it is a lot of fun. And here I'm taking my file to make sure that my stump as well as my Prisma pencils are very pointy. You can get in the small areas if you keep them nice and sharp. You'll actually see when I color, I like to work in little sections, and I like to experiment with a lot of colors, because the one thing I find, if you put a base on everything and you move with darker colors, you set a light base and then go to darker, you can always take it away. And I'm using my micro brushes. You know I love my micro brushes. You dip it in the Gamsol, then you put it on top of your layered colors of the Prisma pencils, and it pools because of the fiber. And it pools and it looks like, when it dries, it looks like little fur balls. It's so neat to see in real life. And the Bristol board is so smooth. It's like actually painting and coloring on a mirror, if that's imaginable. And you can see how I go from one section to another. I add my gray tones here, and then I grab the stump, and then I take some of the Gamsol, and then I draw in my lines. I like to imagine that this buffalo has a lot of fur clusters, and when they move, each area, obviously from the sun, will be shaded in different sections, and it'll be light tones in different sections. And so my imagination just takes over when I am doing animal fur. The same as feathers. Now here on this little gaffer, I'm using both this here is my zigs, and I'm pulling the zigs out with the Gamsol. Oh my, it's beautiful. When you have a base with the Prismacolor, wax, and then you put the paint over top and you push it with Gamsol. It is amazing. And look at our little goat. And I like the little details. I'll show you with the eyes. Um, I use that Nouveau for the whites, and I use the acrylic black for the little eyeballs, and I use the Nouveau white for two little buck teeth on the llama. So cute. Now here's something I really like doing. When you do a sky, this has a lot of sky in the background. I use my Prisma pencils and my Gamsol first, and then I shaded, I left light areas in the background, and then I add my zigs over top, and I think you're going to love the texture because it comes out like they have clouds in the background. Aren't they cute? Love the texture, but I'm not finished working all of the just setting a base on all of the animals, and then you'll see later. I like to look at the colors. You probably do too when you're coloring. I like to see, beside the animals, and look at this. Now I'm back to grass. I will work that grass over and over, and then I'm making my little bird with the zigs. And this is the file that you get at Michael's, and it tears apart. And you have to remember, and here's all the different sized stumps you have in a set, and all you do is go over it and over it, rounding it and rounding it to make a beautiful point on the end. I love coloring balloons. I love to see if I can get that latex stretched look in a balloon. And I wanted to do it using two different colors and then move to just one color, pushing the zigs out with my watercolor brush. And some of them I'll use two colors, like a red and a pink, and some I'll use a dark green and a light green. But on most parts, you can take and use just one of your zig colors, and once it dries, go over the edge like this. I actually put navy on the edge and pushed it forward, and then I like to lighten that little wee section that makes it look like the latex is stretched out and you have that beautiful sunspot hitting it. And after we do this, I want to show you how to create clouds using the zig markers and the Gamsol together with the Prisma pencils. Now look at this. I'm back to the grass. You can see that because I work in little sections, I will come back over and over again until I get the foundation right and it looks like little hills and valleys inside all of the different color greens. And I wanted to make the presents here kind of get lost in the grass. I didn't put them in dark tones. And now I'm going to color the little party hat, and I'm going to take my Copic multi-liner and draw the strings and attach them. And I'm going to do the hoofs on the animals and anywhere where I figure I need to have a little bit of black. Now, of course, we need a barn door. I needed to have a fence or a barn door or something. I'm just cleaning off my stumps here. And I wanted it to be placed where it would not hide the images of the animals, but it was present in the card. And I decided just to take this heartfelt creation paper because it looks like wood, and we are going to make a fence just out of the paper. Now comes the cloud part. Building clouds on this Bristol paper is wonderful because you put your light blues first and just leave it. Put all the, color it in long straight lines and leave it, and then we're going to come back to it. And I'm going to do his little top hat. Isn't this gorgeous? And make sure you go around all the edges because you do see that from the side. Look at it on there. Isn't it cute? And now we go back to our llama. This is where I will get all of the detailed texture to make the eyes pop out. Put the shadows in. I put a little bit of Copic multi-liner on this as a base, but I do move in with the Nouveau white enamel. I'm just adding the Copic multi-liner where I want some really bright whites. I'm taking this 1/2 inch punch right here, and we are going to prepare to do the yo-yo spinner card, but I'm saving the total look of that for the end because I wanted to do it slow with you. See how you wind it up and you pull it? Look at, it's so cute. Put it on there, yeah. And see how his mouth always ends up in the bottom. That's what we're going to achieve in this card. And then I put a magnet holding the flower right there. So every time you came down and you let go of the string, it'll automatically boink right onto the magnet. Yes, and I'll show you that after. Look at this. Isn't it cute? Sometimes it's just fun to take a break and play with your card because it is a fun element, the yo-yo spinner. And I love the way that the flower pops back onto that magnet. Watch, boink. Yes, because I didn't want it to get hooked into anything. And notice how I put the string attached to that deflated balloon on the bottom where this flower will end up sitting on. Look at him. Isn't he cute? And it lands, his mouth lands at the bottom every time. And it's so sweet. Look at, I'm doing it in slow motion. And there it is. Yes, a yo-yo spinner. And I thought the pig little head would be so cute to spin around and around. Now we have about 90% of the coloring complete. I put the Pico clear embellisher on all of the balloons and any areas that I wanted shine to come up. Turn your card over and see that little brown brad in the left corner that we put there for the piggy's head? Make sure that your tape is above it. You don't want anything touching that because that's how your piggy head is spinning and you don't want it to catch into anything. So build it up twice and look at that. Isn't that sweet? I love playing with this, and it hits the magnet, and this is like a little herd. It's a little barnyard. Here it goes again. Watch. This is so much fun. All our little animals are happy because they're all colored. Yes, and the little button going around there, and somebody's just going to love spinning that little piggy head. So here comes the Nouveau, and I love this. It's just like the acrylic glaze that I use, but it has a different consistency, and it seems to be very firm, and it's able to seat well. So I do the eyes of the goat, and I'm going to put googly eyes on the, that's what it's called, the Nouveau. I'm going to put googly eyes on inside the glasses of the buffalo, but I'm going to make the, there they are right there, right inside the glasses. Is that cute or what? And our llama, I'm going to have his little eyeballs looking up at the balloons. It looks so cute. And now you want to take your zigs in a darker blue, and you're going to go around the edges, and this is where it pushes the Gamsol and the Prisma pencil out of the way, and it builds its own clouds. Look at that. You can see them just coming up. It's wonderful. Now here's where I had to build some type of a gate, and this was so easy peasy. You just get a piece of cardstock that looks like wood, and then you're going to cut it in different areas. So you're snipping it, and then you snip out the centers, and they're all different sizes, and then you go across the tops of them, cutting off the corners, and each stump of this wood is cut differently, and some are straight and some are jagged, and you have yourself a perfect gate, and it's going to be above the animals in the background. It looks so real. It's so pretty on this card. It truly is a herd of animals in a farmland. And look at this. We take another strip of it going in the opposite direction, and we take some, I'm just placing it to see, doesn't it look like a gate? And all we did was cut little slits and in the insides of, you know, all the way across there, and cut the innards out, and then put this little strip across there, and we have ourselves a country gate. I absolutely love it. We'll take that little 1/4 inch piece of paper, We'll put some, actually it's an eighth of an inch. The tape is an eighth of an inch. Put it on the back, peel it back, and run it straight across there. Make sure it's on the upper third so that you can see the fence below it like that. Isn't that awesome? Oh, this card is coming together and I'm really enjoying all the elements, all the coloring elements, all of the texture in the animals, and just the little details that make this yo-yo spinner card so special. It's just one of those relaxing, fun cards that you just have fun in the process of making it. Now that we lay it out, we need to get the fine details done, like the eyes and the little buck teeth on our llama, and anything we see that, there we go, we put his eyes looking up at the balloons, the pig eyes, the little goat eyes, and his little snubby nose. And then we drew in the nostrils for our buffalo and set our googly eyes in there with our matte multi glue. And look at that. Look at the buck teeth on the llama. Is that not cute? And on this little bird, I put down some of the black enamel and placed the eyeballs with a pin because they're so tiny. But look how they bulge out. Oh, this, look. I had to look at that little crazy bird sitting on the present. I just loved it. And our little wee spinner head, look at it go. And I love it that he squished that balloon, all the air out of that balloon. I put some of the glossy stuff on the balloon there, just on sections, so it looked like it was really losing the air. It's just so much fun. So now comes color picking time. Yes, we have to put our layers and take out from the balloons all the colors. First, I decided to take yellow. I thought yellow would be really nice. There's a lot of yellow elements in the bird, different colors of yellow. Then I went with the green, the it's kind of like a mid-tone. It's not a celery. It's kind of like a grass green. And I'm putting my 1-inch double-sided tape down. And then I'm cutting the corners like the fence on each of them. You'll notice that here. And I went over it with my antique brown distress inks with my applicator. I went over all the edges. And it just added to having the distressed edges on the yellow. And then I had this beautiful turquoise blue, which just popped it right out. And that was because of the sky color. And I'm taking back all of this wonderful double-sided tape, putting it on the turquoise, cut the edges off like this, and I'm going to distress it with scissors. Yes, all of it is distressed. And it's a barnyard animal, so I had to have a little distress. Look at that piggy. Is he not adorable? I just kept playing with this the whole time. It took me so long to actually get the card done because I kept playing with the little piggy. And now I'm going to put him on my 140-pound weight cardstock. And what I do when I make a card, I cut around it and then I straighten it up after. It's quicker, and you get, I had to build my own card here, right, because it's 9 by 6. So I just take the size for the top and I add a 1/2 inch to the bottom portion, fold it at the 1/2 inch on my scoreboard right here, add the 1/2 inch double-sided tape on the underneath, and then I remove it, pounce down, and you have yourself a homemade card using your Teflon bone folder so you don't see any of the marks. It's beautiful. And here we take the 1-inch tape, we apply it to that beautiful white cardstock, and it just pops. We have a barnyard full of the herd and a little piggy whose head spins like a yo-yo. What more can you ask for? Now for the inside of the card, I took the stamp in my neon cubes. They are bright colors, and of course the front is full of bright colors, so what else would I use but neon inks? Took my clear embossing powder and I went over it, and it was so cute. All these animals just popped off there with all the colors of the front. Aren't they cute? Just loved it. So now I have to make the sentiment for the inside, which was so much fun. So here's how I did it. I took my mini Misty, and I set out the happy birthday from the herd. I'm putting it on that turquoise blue to match the front. I love the font on the happy birthday. It just looks like a barnyard font, if that makes any sense. Woodsy, just gorgeous for animals. And then I'm going to take out my Early Espresso embossing powder by Stampin' Up, put it over my coffee filter, and then we're going to heat set it. Look at that. Happy birthday from the herd. Beautiful. I love that Early Espresso embossing powder color. It looks like wood. It's just wonderful. Took my corner chomper, and so it looked like a log. And there you have it. And then I took the green cardstock and I texturized it with the scissors around the edges. And I also put some vintage photo around that so that it looked nice and woodsy. And then I put 2 brads in it actually. I just thought it needed to have brads because I have a billion of them. So I have a billion minus 2. Minus 3, we used one for the piggy head. And let me tell you that when you pick a brad out for your piggy head, for the yo-yo spinner card, it needs to have a long shank. Some double-sided tape on the back and seat it right in the center over top of the animals. And then I took some of my bright neon dots out from my stash and I put them all over to match all the colors in the animals. Isn't that cute? And there you have it. I'm going to start playing with that again. And I'm going to just show you after I do this how we made the head yo-yo spinner. I actually set, after this is, because I'm finished with the card, we're going to move on right now and I'll show you slow-mo how we create the yo-yo spinner. First you want to take the center out of these Stampin' Up circular shaker card elements. You take the center out and you put a hole through it and set it aside. You need 2 pieces of acetate punched out at a 1/2 inch. You're going to take your image and put a brad through it, and I'm going to show you. It's so easy. So let's pretend that piece there is the card. Take out the center of your Stampin' Up shaker elements. They're sticky. Put a brad through whatever face you're going to use. Put this center sticky so the sticky's down when you put it on. So you make a hole, you run it down through the brad, and then you're going to peel off that piece that's not sticky, the top part, peel it off. Take your 2 pieces of acetate together that you made a hole through them and slide them down over top, because it's those 2 pieces of acetate right there that's going to make it spin. So just set it right over top of the other one. Now you've already taken the top off of this, right? Because it has a sticky part right there. See, I'm removing it. And so one of the acetate pieces will stick to the sticky stuff and the other piece won't. And they're going to spin together because you have one seated on top of the foam here, and the other one we're going to put some mini glue dots on the top to put the face on. So now you're going to poke a hole in your whatever card base you have colored in there. You're going to put the brad through, separate the prongs because they have to spin around, right? You want to take 6 to 7 inches of that twine and shove it up underneath the sticky that we put down first, the center of the Stampin' Up section. Just slide it under there because it'll stick between the sticky and the paper, so that it's really pushed up, and make sure it's between the glue dot and the round sticky piece. And there you have it. It's all ready to go. I hope I was able to explain the spinner easy, and you can just go back and replay it and look at that little piggy looking at us there. Have yourself a blessed week. Thank you as always for subscribing. Take care, everybody.